Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. This is Hassan, I am Dan, and we're going to be talking about The Flash Season 8, Episode 9, The Phantoms. So in this episode, we had two separate stories going on. We had Iris and Sue Dibney going to
Coast
City. Thank you. I was like, it's not Central City, it's Coast City. To
home of the Green Lantern.
Yes, which, I mean, fingers crossed they at least give us some, like, Easter eggs with that. Who knows? We'll see something green in the background. Anyway, so those two go over there to check out on a new meta that they have been, they've detected on their app. And then in Central City, we have a ghost dilemma with a cold fusion meta that they think could be a ghost.
Right.
That's kind of it. That's pretty much the summary of the episode. Before we go ahead and start nitpicking it, what did you think of the episode, Hassan?
Man, these are getting tough to watch. That said, there are the little moments that you enjoy here and there. I like Sue Dibney or Sue Dearborn.
Yes.
Sorry, she never got to become Sue Dibney because Ralph is no
right.
longer allowed on television.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that she doesn't go by that.
No, she never got to pop the question, get the ring, because he was busy writing tweets in 2015 like a young James Gunn. But not as successful and not nearly as redeemable. But she's great. Her energy's fun. She was really fun on camera. I think the best part of her last season, or the last season she was a regular on, was her and Ralph's chemistry. So like seeing her on screen again makes me genuinely miss that energy, because I thought we're lacking a couple with real chemistry on screen. You have Allegra and Chester doing a very infantile 7th grade back and forth. Like, does he like me? Like, oh, he does like me. Now we do nothing. Can't wait for a calamity to happen so we do one kiss and then we're in a relationship and then are suddenly married in 2 seasons. Yes, we know how this show works. They're all very formulaic. It's all the same thing. But seeing her on screen, lots of charisma, lots of charm. It doesn't really matter when she's bullshitting because she's so fun. But that's my most positive thing before I rip into the show's existence. So what's yours? What did you enjoy?
I'm in the same boat. Honestly, that actress, just every time she is on screen, she steals the show. Like, she really does, because she, like, just every way she delivers her lines, the way she acts, it's all just so good. Like, you can't really describe it very well, but the fact of, like, her character being, like, the jewel thief and, like, her entire history, her past, I won't go into it because, I mean, it's been a while since she's been in the show now, but she is such a good character, and honestly, if she was not in those scenes with Iris, I don't know. I would not have been able to sit through this show, because I already have trouble sitting through this show. So here's hoping
I would have gotten to the skimming button, you know?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they keep her around for a bit longer. I think she deserves to be a main character on this show. I know that her character doesn't really belong like that, unfortunately, because, like, she is hey, I'm here for this thing, I'm going to go do this. But outside of that, yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, because the Chester and Allegra, it's
3rd grade.
The way that they're
4th
acting,
grade.
Like, it worked a little while back. Like, at first, like, okay, because Chester's awkward. Chester has that vibe to him. Allegra doesn't. Like, Allegra's character, I feel like, just going on that, I feel like she never truly got defined in any way. And throughout the show, they've really been trying to figure it out of, oh, well, she kind of was a villain, but then got redeemed, but now she might be a nerd. So now she kind of acts shy towards things, even though sometimes she's really blunt with things. And it's like, I don't know. I just, like, her character just seems all over the place. And I don't know if that's just me but, like, I feel like if someone were to go, hey, describe Allegra's character, I would be like, I don't I can't really like there's nothing really defining about that character. Like Chester, he's got he's the science guy. He's got to have the lighthearted humor. He's been like a nerd his whole life, which a lot of us can relate to, and we kind of get that shyness where you're like, I don't necessarily want to share these things, but when I can and when someone's excited about it, you get so excited about it. And I think he does a great job with that. But Allegra's character it feels like she hasn't been given direction. Because I don't want to just put it on the actress and say, oh, she's a bad actor or anything like that. Because it just feels like they haven't given her direction. Like she's more just, hey, you're here to kind of steer the story when we need it.
Let me ask you an important question about that.
Okay.
Who is Allegra? Like the comic book counterpart.
I don't know.
You're right. It doesn't exist. It's a show original creation. Wow. Awesome.
That they've used
As if
her
we don't have
powers
50
like
years
once?
of mythos to graph them. She uses her powers every once in a while. They're all really dumb. It was just the whole thing originally was that she was a Jesse Wells replacement for Nash Wells,
right?
So that he could have a little like a reason to be around. And I think they came up with that like in a secondary moment. I think they were probably on set and Tom Cavanaugh put a little hat on her and they took a picture and they're like, wait a second, what if we write a whole storyline about this? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. And now when she suits up, she wears Nashwell's jacket and his little utility belt every
Does
time.
she actually suit up? I've never... If she has, I have only considered it like, oh, I'm going out. Let me grab a jacket and I'm good to go.
No, and I think it was maybe after Armageddon or maybe Armageddon, she like puts on the jacket, she puts the like little utility belt over the waist and the shoulder, and then she holds her hands out like this. Like that's her power set. It's a character that's like we had to bring her to main cast because we had just promoted Hartley Sawyer, Ralph Dibny, and the woman who plays Sue Dearborn as series regulars. But Jess from the little girl from Jessie, Sky Jackson came out, exposed his tweets, and that was that. And he had to be removed. And because they removed him, they didn't know how to functionally keep her. So she's in the pilot, or it basically feels like a pilot. She's in the first episode of the season, and they're like, oh, Ralph's face is all, what's happening here? He's got to go recover it because the man who can heal instantaneously just can't seem to heal anymore because of how the metahuman burned real meta, I guess. So they go off and they needed to replace the cast members, right? And Carlos Valdez has had one foot in the door for 4 years now where he's like, I'm leaving the show.
Vibe, right?
Vibe, yeah.
So
Cisco Ramon has left.
Character.
Oh, the best character.
One of the best.
The issue is he left. He like said he wanted to leave. And then he's like, I maybe shouldn't leave. And then he left. And then COVID happened. He's like, I'm going to stay. And he's like, no, I'm leaving. So we have this character who gives up his metahuman powers, creates, bionic versions of the same metahuman powers, which he gave up because he's like, I'm tired of fighting and putting myself out there.
Right.
I want to marry this Asian lady. It's like, Cisco, what are you talking about, man? What happened to Rainbow Rider? No, the show has trouble balancing cast members and they have trouble balancing importance. You're right. I think Sue Dearborn is the perfect level of charisma, charm, wit. And it's not like she's given exemplary work. I think her dialogue is clunky like everybody else's is. Because it's like written by, like, it feels like a group of people who have never written for television ever write this show. And she makes it sound fun. Like you can make lines work. And then you have Iris's delivery. I don't know, time sickness. Oh my God. Why'd you say it like that, dude? Wait, why'd you pause? Why was it so breathy? Why do you think anyone was gonna be like, you have time sickness? Oh my God, we're upset with you. Like, what's your fear here? They're all gonna get worried? No, because we don't know what time sickness is.
Yeah.
The guy who told you you're time sick is one of your magical babies from another realm. Like, I don't care. He's like, Dion, Iris, my eyes are glowing green with what has to be the worst tracking effect on the eyes ever because the green would literally go past his irises randomly.
Yeah.
They can't get super speed well. Why would they get that well? Whatever. He tells Iris he has time sickness, so she spends the rest of the episode being really cryptic. And then the storyline with that metahuman.
So for those watching, I'll just quickly explain. They go to Coast City, and there's rumors of another metahuman who is, I believe they're implying that it's another speedster. That's kind of the vibe that I
just goes through walls.
Well, see, I thought it was just goes through walls until she put her fingers on the phone, and basically I thought she vibrated and just destroyed it that way. But I guess she could just be kind of Kitty Pryde kind of stuff.
Sure, she has something to do with that. Maybe it's like the molecular, because she says later, like Sue says something, which she was bullshitting, but she had the paperweight in her hand, and she was like, this will what do you call it, destabilize your molecular density or whatever. So if we're going by that, then if you can go through objects, you can solidify the insides of objects that don't need to be solid or destroy matter, whatever.
Okay. I guess I must have read into it just a little too much. I think
they have a line that I think feeds into your theory too, where she's like, you're looking for the streak story.
Yeah, that's right. That's what kind of led me down that path.
She meant by that, which Iris highlights, I reported on my first story 8 years ago. Then you weren't a reporter for several of those years. And you don't deserve to be an editor. You're just a person.
Yep.
Like, I saw a clip the other day on TikTok where Iris and good old Ralph Dibny are arguing, and I miss him. This made me miss him more than anything. And he's like, you don't get it. You don't know what it's like to be on the front lines. Like, it's terrifying. And she goes, I do. I'm the leader of this team. And he's like, you sit over there. That's all you do. And then he leaves. And I'm like, yes, you don't do anything. You're the leader of this team?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It's dumb. It was a dumb sentence. Besides the point, I'm getting a little bit off base here. The new meta, which I think they do an interesting... They should have done this years ago, but they talk about natural humans occurring in the world. Young Justice did a whole storyline on that in their season 2, where they had... the Reach, Blue Beetles, villains, whatever, come to Earth, and they were doing experiments on human teens. They were human trafficking, and they were giving them metahuman powers because lots of people have the gene in them to where if they get in trauma, emotional trauma, physical trauma, whatever, powers will manifest because they have the biological advancement of that.
Yeah.
So they introduced that on The Flash because up until this point, all metahumans were born via the particle accelerator explosion.
Right.
Great. We have that. They go to Coast City. They meet this girl who's Miss Edgy. The second of these, like, clearly wet behind the ears, have never acted in one scene in their lives. Like, you don't get it. How are you going to help me, reporter lady? Which is also, like, fair.
Yeah.
Why I wouldn't talk to a reporter. I like it's super weird. And like her witty, attractive friend, like, no, I'm good, man. Like, you can just go away. Fix the dye job on the hair, Iris. Yeah, I'm going there. Candace, you're beautiful. It's not a cute dye job. Sorry. Like, it's just I'm past it. I'm past all of it. It's been driving me insane. But the storyline with their metahuman is weird because then Iris goes on this really hack me bullshit, like the one thread running. Running. I think I know exactly where she is. No, you don't.
That was the biggest stretch of all time where she's like, of course, that means something must have happened to her family. And that, like I'm an overthinker and I think weird things, and that is weird to me. Like, do you think they're going to keep this Kitty Pryde character in the show?
They took the time to find out what the CG looks like. And that's half the budget of this team. So potentially, I think they just want to show that Iris is bringing light to important issues in the world. When she said, oh, yeah, we'll go do a story over there, or maybe we'll start another branch on the other coast. That's not like how news works. Like, that's not like I do a story about Russia. I have a Russian headquarters now. That's not just like it's. I feel like this is written for 7-year-olds. And I think that 7-year-olds would love this. And they would think it's like their own little Marvel movie every week for them.
Right.
But for a 23-year-old, I'm like, good Lord, do you think I don't know how to think? Like, what do you think of me, Eric Wallace, showrunner? What do you think of me? Because when I watch Young Justice, Greg Weisman thinks I'm a savant who's memorized 5 years of storytelling in comic books, movies, and canceled television.
Which
right?
you have.
And then Flash thinks I don't know what the fronts or backs of my hand look like, and I never have. I've never seen them. In fact, it's a struggle.
It really is. So that was that side of the. I think we could go on for all the complaints on that side, but
Yeah.
The other part of the episode was with the what we had left off on the previous ones. We had a couple of people die from cold fusion fires. They had captured a small bit of this black flame, and they are testing it at Star Labs, and Chester out of nowhere starts thinking it's a ghost, which was kind of a stretch in my opinion.
Did we set that up? I thought maybe we set that up and I'd missed it.
If they did, then I do miss a lot of stuff, but anyway, they have this black flame. Chester thinks it's his dad's ghost haunting him. That hence the name of the episode, Phantoms. Right. And then as the show goes on, the flame can like move. It creates a shape. We have Cecile who's sensing the different emotions in the fire. And then they're questioning if the fire is the meta or if it's being controlled by a meta outside of Central Labs. Then it does decide to take the shape of Chester's dad. And I felt like there were a lot of stretches with this with that part of the episode that like I don't know if I missed stuff. Like it was one of those episodes where you're like, I had to have missed something. Like there's no way he's just laying there and sleeping and all of a sudden, oh, this fire lit this thing on fire and is outside of its tube. That must mean it's my ghost dad. Like, I'm sorry, what?
It's literally when you say it like that, it's even worse than like watching it. Because oh my god,
that's what he does, right?
It's literally what he does.
Like it's not even like you heard your dad's voice or you saw your dad in it, because they even specify that it took a shape. Like not like it took anything like that. It was just a blob.
It was a blob. It was like a human-ish blob, and then he was literally just like, "It feels like my dad." I thought your dad wasn't around, but also like, what do you mean by this? It feels like dad?
And then
what
he's like,
about?
oh yeah, it's my dad because my dad died in a fiery car accident. And it's like, we've gone over this. This isn't fire. It's cold fusion. You guys even specified that it's not like actual fire. And like that's...
And you do 100 times over in this episode.
Yeah.
You literally bring it up all the time. The fire suppression systems at Star Labs won't work. Why do they try to like, it's like sometimes they justify nothing. And it's not fun when they do that.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it. They're just not doing it. So don't then justify random stuff. Like you can't just not explain. Like did Iris, they said Coast City is on another coast. Did she take a 14-hour red eye? Like, is it a whole different day for her? Because I thought about this. It crossed my mind.
I didn't
because if
think
it
of
is,
that.
Allegra wore the same outfit 2 days in a row. These are the things I think about. But then they're like, the fire suppression systems in Star Labs won't work. People break in this building all the time. Also, Barry supposedly is like a multimillionaire from this. Will someone fix the hole in the ceiling? Every time for 9 years now, they do a panning shot of this beautiful building, which is just a giant circle for some reason, and there's a hole in it, and they never fixed it.
Oh my gosh.
What are we doing here? At this point, I'm just doing stand-up about The Flash because there's like nothing else to do.
Well, it's because
because
they're giving you so much material. I mean, they're
literally
writing the jokes for you.
they think they're writing these like really impactful lines. Allegra, my dad died once. Yeah, dude, we know. We met him. We went back in time. It was actually like probably the best episode we've got. I don't think I've enjoyed an episode since then. That episode I thoroughly enjoyed. Cisco and Chester in the past. Also, we didn't talk about this. Their budgets on because CC Jitters. They use the jitter set and they call it Coast City Jitters.
When they did that, It's the exact same everything. They didn't even try to like move the tables or any. If you
Or
took out
mirror
that
it.
sign and just blocked it off and you were like, hey, where are they right now? You'd be like, oh, it's just jitters. Like, that's
just
it. And
jitters.
fun fact, show writers. Not every Starbucks has the exact same layout.
Most of them don't actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, like, and I feel like we've been angry and negative, and there are probably some people that still really love this show. And for you guys, you're living my dream. I used to like literally, I would have friends coming over, I had things to do. I would cancel all my plans every Wednesday and Tuesday because Tuesday was a Flash and Wednesday was Arrow, and it meant the world to me. So if you're still having the time of your life watching this, God, more power to you. Enjoy it. Comment what you love about it in this comment section. Like, go crazy with it because I get excited to read it. Because for me, this is all I have now. I'm excited about this conversation I'm going to have afterwards because when I'm watching Barry, what was he doing all episode in between? I don't get it.
I feel like Barry also has not really been in the show much.
No,
I think he like shows up a couple times. Like it's very often shown to the other people, but then we occasionally get Barry is on a Skype call with Iris and he's like, oh, you shouldn't come back. We don't know what this fire meta is doing. And it's like,
or Barry saying, I got to go run to Kramer. I got to loop her in now that she's in Team Flash. Has she come back once since they told her? Not one time has she been on screen. I'm not complaining. I simply cannot juggle any more useless characters. Fine by me. Female Captain Singh, but angrier. Like, I don't know who she is. I've been watching the same show as you guys, but I'm just like, I don't know anymore. What's the point? But we hit 20 minutes. We're supposed to do a really quick run through, but we can't help it. This show's just nonsense.
It's really hard to not harp on the flaws in this show just because the flaws have outweighed everything else. And it's hard to not harp on it. But yeah, like you said, we are 22 minutes into this, so I'm hoping things get better. I mean, I'm reading a thing here. It looks like we're getting Frost fighting against the Black Flame, and
the Black Flame she cannot put out. Okay, please.
We'll find out. We'll find out what happens. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll get better. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it'll get... You know what? I will say, I hope it gets better because as much... Like you said, I used to love this show and I really want to love it again. And I have seen shows that start off terrible and then redeem themselves. So here's hoping. But as of right now, it's a very meh show. It's
not looking great, but you know what? Arrow seasons 3 and 4, some of the worst seasons of television I ever watched. Season 5, maybe the best season of that show in my opinion. So maybe season 9 of The Flash. Probably not this one. If this is the writing, might not pick up steam, but hey, they might do an amazing setup for something crazy for what I really hope is the last season of the show. So we're crossing our fingers. We're hoping Grant deserves something good. We need to see Grant Gustin get to act. He's incredible.
Yeah, he needs to get more screen time as well. Mm-hmm. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching today. He is Hassan. I am Dan, and we will catch you all next time with the next review of which one goes out. I don't know what the schedule is.
I don't know what the schedule is at all. Bye, guys.
We'll see you next time.